from the Man Cave in South Parkersburg, West Virginia. This is Roberts Report. Let's talk about it. And now, the host of Roberts Report, Craig Roberts.
Watch it all fall down around you now. Was it ever really worth it? Having your kingdom crumble to the ground because you never had the courage. Stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up, stand up.
Welcome, everybody, to Roberts Report. Could you turn my audio up just a little bit?
You're fine.
Oh, okay. Can you hear me? Okay. I can't hear me. So anyway, welcome to week 5 or our 5th broadcast, whatever, with Roberts Report. My co-host here, Scott Martin.
How we doing? Hey, have I mentioned that now that it's getting warm, I absolutely hate mowing grass? I'd rather concrete my entire driveway
I'd be all right with that.
entire yard if I possibly could.
Always mention how I'd like to move out west and
Oh, that'd be great. Have a desert lawn.
Yeah, why not? Then you got to worry about the little prickly things throughout your yard, but I'd still be all right with that. But anyway, folks, hey, we got a couple guests with us this week, special guests. Those who have read the title of our broadcast this week, it's on MS. We have Jason Schwindeman here with Schwindeman Appraisal, and Misty Sims here, actually, with little black dress.
Hello.
And we are going to do a little bit of talking about.
Wait.
Okay.
Are we talking? She's wearing a little black dress, or this is like a business?
Well, if she stood up, you could tell she wasn't wearing a dress. But
Oh, okay.
she's actually got jammies on, or you had sweatpants, is what you said.
Jam.
No, I'm just kidding. No. But I've got my MS orange on today because we are going to talk about MS here for just a little while at least.
I want to know what little black dress is.
Well, Little Black Dress is the name of my business. I've had for 7 years.
Okay. Can you eat the microphone?
Okay.
There you go.
There we go. I do wedding and event planning.
Oh, okay,
styling.
okay.
Yep.
And what do you appraise?
Houses.
Oh,
real
awesome.
Estate, yep. Personal
Great.
real estate.
Ohio and West Virginia, or just
West Virginia right now. We'll do Ohio pretty soon, probably.
Gotcha. Great. Sorry, I didn't mean to interrupt.
No, you're fine.
I'm glad you were interested in the name of my business.
It was interesting.
Yeah, we'll get a little more in depth in that here in a little bit.
Okay, great.
Jason.
Yes.
What is, since we pulled straws and you're always the first one to ask tonight. So.
Awesome. Let's do it.
Okay. So one question I think a lot of people ask, and actually I would be interested in knowing too from the both of you, would be what made you feel like there was just something wrong and enough to where it says, maybe I should probably go to the doctor about this?
Well, it's a lot of cognitive stuff. When you're talking to somebody, you lose your train of thought and little memory loss, and just kind of got scary once you're sitting there talking to somebody and you forget what you're talking about and you stare into space, and it just really scares you a little bit. And then I think the time that I went and got checked out, I was coming home and both my legs went numb. And I walked in the house, and like right away, my wife said, "We're going to go get you checked out right away because these things have been happening for far too long." Mm-hmm. And I went and got checked out, and I had several lesions on my spine and my brain, and so that kind of cemented I did have something and let me know what was going on. So
with sort of a comparison, I'm sure you've had a pinched nerve before from. Mm-hmm. Just working too hard or whatever. Mm-hmm. Is that kind of how you compare it, or was it a different kind of?
It was really different. It was a numbness kind of thing. It was definitely not pinched, because pinched nerves will hurt and you can just feel, but this was just something a lot different. And like, I'll go to the physical therapy and stuff, and my muscles are always contracted all the time, unlike any other, and they'll rub it out and get it straightened out, but it'll be the same way. So it's like, it's one to take me over, but the physical therapy and the chiropractor and massage stuff is keeping me kind of loose and limber right now. So,
okay. So, how long have you had it now?
I was diagnosed in 2011, but he thinks I've had it for 20 plus years.
Oh, wow.
I've had like 50 some lesions on my spine and my brain, and he thinks I've had it for quite a while.
I don't know what a lesion is.
It is Misty. You can explain the lesion part.
It's really just like a matter. It's really like a scar on your brain. And then, like, that's how really MS is detected, other than there's other autoimmune diseases out there. But when they do the MRI of your spine and your brain, like, the lesions is what really solidifies the fact that, you do have multiple sclerosis.
I see. So the disease causes the lesions or causes more lesions?
The disease causes, yes, it's attacking the
myelin around
your nerve, and when it's attacking it, it'll create a scar, which is a lesion. So I've got them everywhere, and you said you probably have a couple dozen, right?
Yeah, as far as I know, I probably have a couple dozen. They're all in my brain. As far as I know, I don't have any in my spine at this point. So
if you kind of look back, I mean, did you see other things that you could say, you know what?
I was telling her when I was in college, I played basketball at Glenville, and we were playing in a tournament my junior year, and I never really got nervous about anything. But before we played that night, going to the floor, I just felt a panic come over my body, and I didn't know what was going on. And, ever since then, I felt kind of different. And, a few vision problems every once in a while, but vision not so much. But optic neuritis is a big thing with MS, and I think Misty could talk to you about that, but I haven't had that problem yet. So,
okay. Well, Misty.
Craig.
So, kind of basically the same thing. I mean, what made you decide that there was just something?
Well, ironically enough, Jason and I were diagnosed the same year. He was August of 2011. I was February of 2011. A few weeks went by, and I kept having this pain in my left eye, and I thought maybe I was getting a sty. And then I woke up one morning, and I had severe pain in my left eye and complete numbness on the left side of my body, as well as like tingling, and to the point where I knew nothing about MS at this point. I didn't know if it was Bell's palsy, but I wasn't having any problems with like the side of my face where it was, looking different. Like I completely looked the same in the mirror, but there was just something wrong. So I called my doctor. He couldn't get me in, but I could see his nurse practitioner. So I just assumed I was going to go, and it was just going to be, they were going to throw me, some meds or a steroid pack and say, take it, and, you're going to feel better. She said, I think we should just go ahead and do an MRI just to be sure. And of course, I thought, well, this seems, ridiculous. I certainly don't think I need an MRI, but, I complied, and I got my MRI at 11 o'clock in the morning on a Friday, and my doctor called me himself at 4 o'clock that evening, and he didn't even know that I had even had the MRI. It came across his desk from the radiologist. This, this girl has MS, and, he had to call and tell me, and we still talk about it, how he said it's, it's hard to tell, someone who appears to be so healthy in their, in their 30s and thriving, that they have a debilitating disease. But, that's the card that was handed to me. And ever since then, I've done everything that I can to raise awareness and money. And, that's how I move forward, and that's how I deal with it. And everyone has their own special way, I think. I'm definitely not doom and gloom, and
Right.
I always try to make a positive out of a negative.
Right.
And I think anyone who knows me knows that about me anyway.
Right. And that was another good thing about both of you all. I mean, I've known you for a while too, of course, and it just, the never lose or never give up mentality, and
Doesn't do you any good just to doubt
Doesn't.
about it. You just
Yeah.
got to move and keep moving, and that's the best thing for it.
Right. So, as far as, do you look back? I mean, did they say how long you possibly could have had it
That was one of the
before,
questions
or-
that I asked immediately when they said MS. I, of course, like I said, didn't know anything about it and went into a total panic because I was very uneducated. No one in my family has it, so it's not really genetic that we know of, as far as me. But as I was telling Jason earlier, everyone that has MS, we're all snowflakes because no one's MS is the same, and that's why it's so hard to treat. It's why it's so hard to diagnose. Mine is very different than Jason's, and very different than everyone that I know. So at the end of the day, I mean, you just take the meds that the doctor gives you, and and move on. But as far as when I had my first MRI. I certainly wanted to know what caused it, and they said they couldn't tell me that, and they said that they could tell by the lesions that there had been some there for some time, but they didn't give me any significant amount of time. It sounded like maybe a few years, but I don't think, like 20 plus years. I don't think so. And I don't, other than what happened with my eye, I never had a moment that was so defining like what Jason had. So, but again, ours are very different. So
Right. Yeah. And I mean, I can't tell you right now. I've got an uncle that has it. We have obviously Andy Walker is another friend of ours that has
Right.
it. I mean, there's so many people, and there's a lot of people that have it that don't know they have it. You and I could have it right now, and we don't know. I mean, it rears its ugly face whenever it wants to. And but what about this? We've done a little bit of research before the broadcast here on this new drug.
Hang on a second. We had a comment from people that said they can't see Jason's face. Can we get you to turn your hat around, Jason? Because
I'm not even on it, I don't think.
It's the Billy or hat that we figured out that.
They want me to take my hat off?
No, they want you to turn it around so that it blocks the. Yeah, there you go.
Who wants to see my face?
That's
anyway?
actually Craig's mom.
Is that better?
way to go, Craig's mom.
There you go. For some reason, hat bills make people's faces dark on the camera.
That's why I had to turn mine around.
What do you think I was doing? I didn't want to be on here anyway.
All right, so that'll make Mama Roberts happy.
Okay.
But anyway, this new drug that's just come out within the last week or so. I know you don't know a whole lot about it. Obviously, you did some reading on it.
I can
Who
read.
would like to?
Do you want to do it?
No, go ahead.
Okay. Well, I was just pulling up something that I just had got. It's called Ocrevus, Ocrevus. Says the multiple sclerosis community has been waiting with bated breath for the approval of the drug Ocrevus, which will be used to treat patients who have relapsing MS and primary progressive MS. The FDA's decision of final approval was expected on March 28th, which it's already been approved, which was last, March 28th. Ocrevus will be used for treating primary progressive MS. It will be used for treating MS or relapsing MS patients, which Misti and I are. It is an anti-CD20, this is monoclonal antibody, which works by targeting the mature B cells, which contribute to demyelination, which is what we were talking about, the scars on the lesions and stuff like that is demyelination, and damages nerve cells. Most MS medications currently available work by targeting T cells. This is one of the only medications that attacks these specific B cells. More than 1,600 MS patients participated in clinical trials. 94% of participants had fewer brain lesions during the 96 weeks of treatment. And it says there will be little increased risk of infection with this medicine.
That's excellent results.
Yeah. So it's a move forward. Anything forward at this point.
Right.
I grew up, my best friend, his dad had it, and he was bedridden. And when I first got diagnosed, I thought, that's going to be me. But he said to me, this is different than then. This was the 70s and 80s, and they had no medicines. They didn't know what to get. They didn't know what it is.
Right.
That's what my doctor said. I go to Cleveland Clinic at the Mellon Center, and it was always so scary first diagnosed and being in there and seeing the way that, some older people in, wheelchairs and just so debilitated. And he just said, you have to understand, Misti, that was a different time. And definitely even in the 6 years, that I've been diagnosed, they've made, a lot of progress. And I mean, it used to be there was never a pill. I mean, that was unheard of.
Yeah.
So
Stem cells is the big thing they're talking about now in the near future, but I don't know. It's in other places, Britain and
Canada, I
overseas.
think.
Canada,
I think
yeah,
so.
but it's not here. They don't trust it yet.
So can lesions? I guess is a lesion. You say a lesion is a scar then?
It doesn't go away.
So you
But it
can't
can be like inactive, like
Dormant.
yeah.
It can stay that way. But I think you're asking if it can be repaired.
Reversed.
Oh,
That's
okay.
what we're kind of looking at now. They're looking at things to, recreate, the myelin and
yeah.
so.
Okay. And
So right now there's no known cause of what causes this, right? Nobody has any idea of what actually causes it, or are there any guesses as to what causes it?
As far as I know, guesses are environmental, autoimmune. Like if you had a viral infection, one of the top questions I've always gotten is, "Did you have mono when you were a child?" I did not. Like no one.
I did.
Like I mentioned, no one in my family's had it. Environmental. I mean, I've been a lot of places around the world. So who knows? But Jason, he had mono. So
When I was a senior in high school, I had it, and they say it stays in you all the time. And then I think in one of the drug meetings, the MS drugs, I asked the guy, and they're definitely looking into that as a possible cause. I mean, they don't know if it's genetic, but I had an uncle that had MS. But they're not going to say it's genetic at all yet.
yeah, exactly.
So.
And we actually had somebody ask a question before the broadcast that they wanted to ask, and it's kind of related to this.
Here it comes.
Is this area a bigger bed for MS than other areas that you know of?
I don't know, and I'm not going to pretend that I know.
Speculate.
Yeah, I'm absolutely not
Yeah.
going to speculate on that.
Sorry,
I'm
no
born
comment.
I'm born and raised in Ohio Valley, but I was also gone for 15 years and then came back, so I really don't know.
Yeah.
So I don't know a whole lot of people that have it.
I don't either, actually.
Yeah.
thank you for not pinning that to C8.
I think
Things got awkward.
Let's get in there for a minute.
I just wanted to shut that down right now.
I think you two doubled the number of people that I know with MS. So
Yeah, I had an uncle that had it, and that's all. And my best friend's dad, and that's the only two things I had. My uncle did die young in life, but I don't think he took care of himself. And then my best friend's dad had it, and he died young in life and was in a wheelchair and bedridden. And
yeah, so talk about the different progressions. What can be the lightest symptoms you can have? What can be the worst symptoms you had? How long can it take to progress? Will some people live to be 100 years old with MS?
I've always
I think
heard.
it's an open-ended question because
Yeah.
everyone's so different.
I've always heard it's life expectancy for an MS is 10 years less than somebody else, but I don't know why it would be that, but I read that once.
I refuse to believe it.
I refuse to believe it too.
and it can be as mellow as you're just tired all the time, right?
Correct. Yeah.
And you could have nothing.
Yeah. Some
I
days I
mean-
don't I forget I have it.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
some days it's like this beast that won't allow me to get out
and
of bed.
and I know. So I worked with a guy, and God rest his soul, he passed away now, but he had a form of it where he would go anywhere to the point where he was in a wheelchair to the point where he was walking normally. In
It can
different
be that
cycles.
way, yeah. I have problems with my gait and walking, but that's why I keep telling my physical therapist someday it will want to take, over, but if you keep moving and getting physical therapy and get work on it and just don't let it, I refuse to let it put me in a
Because
wheelchair.
you accept it. There are
Right.
so many people who don't accept it.
Mm-hmm.
And those are the people that, unfortunately, I think, my personal opinion, are the ones that are having, more severe problems.
And don't really want to help themselves
Right.
that much, I don't think. I don't think they
I
want to
agree with you.
get out and move and keep active. I think that's the biggest key is to keep active.
Well, so that was the next question I have. As far as the two of you and your own cases of MS, what does help you the most? Do you have prescription drugs, or is it therapy and physical therapy and exercise, or what helps you the most?
Well, I do take an MS medicine, and I take another medicine. It's Neurontin. It's to help the cognitive stuff like that. And I alternate weeks, chiropractic 1 week, and then physical therapy the next. And that's what keeps me mobile, I think. It keeps me moving. You got to have your definite meds, because the MS medicine I'm on doesn't help you get better, it just keeps the MS from progressing. It stops you right where you're at. It won't help you
Right.
get better. But I have found my biggest problem is stress. When I'm stressed out about something, it fires up all of my MS problems that I have. The cognitive, the muscular, everything is the worst.
I see.
Same. Anything? Your medicine's helping you? I mean,
Well, I used to take Copaxone, which was an injection that you had to take every day. Then I moved on to Gilenya once it was, it was one of the, I think it was the first oral medication. I actually done really well on that. So I take the Gilenya, and then I also take, because a lot of my stuff is severe pain. So I take Lyrica. You probably see the commercials out there. For that. And it's also, they say it's for fibromyalgia and a form of diabetes. I apologize, I can't remember what it is, but it can be used for MS too. And it was really a fight with my insurance company, unfortunately, to get that. And I'm so big into advocating for yourself. And I advocated, and I wrote letters, and I researched, and I acted what I'm sure my insurance company thought I was a complete maniac. But I had to have this. I mean, I have a job and, a family, and, had to be able to control the pain. And so finally they sent a prescription, said I had it until 2099. Basically, please never bother us again. So advocation, just because someone says no, if you find something, I'm constantly questioning my doctors all the time. And it's not because they don't know, but I want to make sure that they know, hey, I'm on top of this right with you, and we're going to come up with this plan together because we're a team here. So, and I've been fortunate enough to finally find doctors, that treat me that way.
Now, what I understand, heat is also a major thing. What exactly does? I hear that it affects some of MS more. What does it do?
Well, heat for me can just put me in severe pain, and also I've recently, in the past couple of years, become a runner, and if I run or I'm training in the heat, I automatically can go blind in my left eye.
Oh, wow.
Just because my body temperature becomes so high that unless I can bring my body temperature back down, then I regain my eyesight.
Wow.
I do the summer.
Yeah, I love summer, but
yeah,
it's
when
not
it gets
great for
hot, it's miserable. I even got a vest, the cooling packs in it, and it's kind of awkward to do, so I didn't wear it anymore. But the summertime, I can't wait till it goes away.
Now, do you get the pain also? Is that what?
I'm not much for pain. I'm not a pain guy. I'm more cognitive. I'm more muscle stiffness and stuff like that. It's not shooting pains, but yeah, I'm more of that. And so she has a lot of pain. See, that's what MS is. It's different for everybody.
Right.
So,
And something you brought up, the running and that sort of thing that you do. Does it help to stay physically fit?
For me, I definitely am a firm believer in it. I told the story a little bit yesterday at the walk, but I have lost 50 pounds due to, I decided when I turned 38, I was going to start eating clean, and I learned really how to eat healthy. I think that really helped, make me feel better. I have a trainer, Jennifer, who I train with 3 to 4 days a week. I started running. I love yoga. I love a new exercise called bar. It stretches my body, and it's such a great feeling. Like Jason was saying, the stiffness and everything, to do that. And I just walk out and I'm like, oh, if I could just do that 24 hours a day.
yeah.
Yeah, when we're talking about running, just so if nobody knows, Misty, it's not just a normal running. You did. Go ahead and tell them what you did there a couple of years ago, or was it last year or year before?
2015.
2015.
Yeah, I had a pretty great year.
Yeah.
It was exhausting, but I just, like I said, when I turned 38, I decided, I was just gonna try to get as fit as I could. And let's see, that November, I guess that was 2014, a former client of mine sent me an email and she said, you really need to do this. They're going to choose 40 people in the United States to run for the National MS Society in the New York City Half Marathon. And I thought, oh my gosh, I just ran my first 5K like 6 weeks ago. There's no way. So long story short, I finally decided just to appease her. That I would do it, and I thought there's no way I'll get chosen, so we'll go ahead and turn this application story in. And I was actually out of the country and checked my email, and I was chosen, one of 40 people to run the New York City Half Marathon.
Awesome. Yeah.
Wow.
And immediately emailed my trainer and was like, "Do you think I can do this?" And she said, "Of course you can." And
Right.
I trained and worked really hard. Woke up at 4:30 every morning. Was training, like leaving my house when it was like negative numbers outside, and I can't imagine. I think back to that even. I'm like, I can't even. Who is that person?
Yeah.
So, anyways, ended up going to New York and doing that, and it was amazing. And I thought in my head, everyone who was running it for the National MS Society had MS. Well, I was the only one, so.
Well, I mean, it's a huge inspiration.
I assumed that everyone that was doing it had MS, and that was not the case. But
right.
so then they asked me to run the full marathon, and I again asked my trainer, "What do you think?" And of course, she said, "You can. I'm sure you can do it." And I trained, and I said, "The only thing that I want out of this is that my son, who was 3 at the time." It never takes time away from him. So again, there I was up at 4:30 in the morning, or I was training at like 9 o'clock at night, and he really basically knew nothing. And it can be a lonely place, out there when you're training for a marathon. You just run so many miles that are so long, and my whole thing was like I would really just be out there and sort of talking to myself and talking to my MS, and it was always me competing with the MS, and me crossing that finish line was like me saying, you don't have me. Like, I still, you walked into the wrong house because, I'm still in charge here. And I think that's really been like a great thing for me is I'm so goal oriented now. And I think it's important to inspire yourself. And I would have never in a million years thought I could ever do that. I was never a runner. And, when I crossed that finish line, it was like, I had really proved to myself, you're going to be okay.
Well, it's hard enough I do some gym stuff and run some, but it's hard enough for a person just, that doesn't have anything wrong with them.
You talk about it every day on Facebook.
Okay.
And you have to, really, because that's what helps you. Trust me. People are sick and heard about me.
I just had to bust his balls because that's about it. If 90% of the time, if there's a post by him, it's about going to the gym.
But
I love it.
That's funny though. That's the thing, and the same thing with your running part. I mean, people, kid me all the time and say, you're going to the gym again. You're going to the gym again. You're going to what? You know what? That Facebook is not really for anybody else. That Facebook is to
motivation.
To keep me on track.
Yeah, in track. So, I remember when I was training, I would see your posts and I would be like, "Hey, I'm training too." We would have conversation.
My issue is the opposite of yours. I must have anti-MS because I just set the last 6 months on my ass because I don't like to get out in the cold.
All right. Yeah.
Opposite. I live for the days that it gets 70 or above, so I can. I walk about 6 miles a day, and.
Well, I tell my wife if I could be between 50 and 80 degrees, 80 is leaving a little high for me, I'd be great. If I could find somewhere in
you
this
just
world.
Don't like those really hot humid days.
No, man, it kills me.
You.
It wipes me out. I don't function correctly in those temperatures.
So I'm going to kind of put each of you on the spot individually here. We'll start with Jason again since we drew the straws earlier. If you had one message that you wanted to tell our viewers out there right now that, your inspiration on what keeps you going and what, just.
Well, my childhood with my best friend seeing his dad, my motivation is not wanting to be like that. And I want to be I don't want to be treated any different than anybody else. That's when I first was diagnosed, it was a long time until I could let anybody know. My wife knew, and the doctor and everybody, but nobody else. I don't want to be like that. I don't want to be treated different. You see us, and you wouldn't think we had it most of the time, but there is something going on inside of us. So if you know that, and you're talking to us, and we look off into space, or we lose our train of thought, just understand that we have something going on, but we're doing our best to deal with what we have and moving on, and we don't want to be,
So funny you mentioned that, because right before we started the show, I asked you, like, are you guys related to somebody with MS or something like that? Because
You never know
you have the stereotype in your head of, you think the person with MS should be with a walker or
Right.
in a wheelchair or limping, or like,
Yeah.
hey, these two normal people are in here. Why are they talking about MS?
Normal's a little far for us.
We were just talking about how we're so not normal. We're outside.
But yeah, a lot of the older people that didn't have the medicines that we have today will be wheelchair when you see them most of the time. But they found medicines that will stop ours from progressing and stuff like that. So my goal is to never ever be in a wheelchair and to always be able to take care of myself. And
Very good message.
yeah, Misty.
My turn. I mean, I think like my message is to just not give up. Like I said earlier, to advocate for yourself. I mean, I think that's really worked for me. I think it's, to just be healthy and to just live every day as if, tomorrow, because tomorrow could be like a horrible day. Like I woke up one day and I had like double vision for 2 weeks, and and then I went in for IV steroids. It's just every single day I can go out and I can run. It's like such a blessing in my life, and I do things for my family, and I want my child, who's he's 4.5. He doesn't quite understand MS, obviously, but I want him to be like, my mom has done the best she can, with the card that she was dealt, and I want him to understand the importance of whatever life hands you. Just don't give up.
Great message. Huge inspiration. I mean, I really didn't know too much about it. I knew at one point in time my uncle had it, and he was probably the first person. Uncle Gary, he's probably watching right now. Actually, he's in Arizona. But
Hey, Gary.
But and then of course I will give a shout out to Andy Walker too.
Yes.
He's a good example of so many ways that it affects people differently. You all were able to walk in here. Andy, he's in a wheelchair right now because of it. So
Yeah, actually, Andy's currently in physical therapy right now, so he's
yeah, we as soon as he is able to, we're going to have him back down here as well.
Yeah, he's
or have him
super
down here.
knowledgeable. Like, I mean,
You'd
have
have done
tons of answers.
much better with him than us, probably.
So Andy, get better.
Yeah, Andy, come on, dude.
Yeah, but I mean, I didn't really know too much about it until I got more, and it is one of my, close to home type things, I guess, because of it's in family, it's in friends, and there's more people too that I just can't think of off the top of my head that has it though, but or knows somebody that has it. I mean, just before our broadcast, we had for what's her name on there? I'm sorry. Blackwell. She mentioned about her ex-husband having it.
Cliff.
Yeah.
I know him.
And, there again, I mean, it just popped up out of nowhere. So,
And I think those things definitely happen because, like I said earlier, I didn't know anybody, and like since then, I have like a whole MS family.
You just don't pay attention to
Exactly.
it when you don't have it, I
Right,
don't think.
exactly. And now I'm so aware, and
Right.
I've been lucky enough people have recently been diagnosed and or just reach out to Misty or whatever. And I don't have answers. I'm not a physician. All I have is my story, and it's going to be very different, but at least, it's a story. And I craved that really when I was diagnosed because I didn't know anyone at the time. And then once it sort of got out, then it was like, oh, well, so-and-so that, has MS. And I was just like, oh my gosh, I didn't even know that or realize that. But
and a positive, if there's a positive side to it, is the network that you all have and the friends that you have, brought together into a network, and you can share stories with. I mean, I'm sure that's probably an important thing.
It is for me, for sure. It makes me feel a little less crazy.
Yeah, I mean, so let's skip out of the MS stuff here a little bit, and let's talk about your businesses a little bit.
So I'm first again.
Or if you want to kind of say how MS, affects what you do with your business, as
Well, I'm a real estate appraiser. It doesn't really, it affects I can go out and see properties and everything. I'm fine. I can't do what I used to. I can get up in attics, and then the crawl spaces, things like that. But I think my work day when I'm doing up reports is the worst, because it takes me probably 3 times as long as it should, because I'll look at it and space out for a while, or see something else that catches my attention, and I can't sit there and focus for very long. That's the biggest thing MS has done to me.
How did you get started? I know a lot of people who are in appraisal get started from a family member or somebody else.
Well, it was kind of a luck thing. I was doing loans at the time, and I deal with appraisers all the time, and I told my wife I'd like to do that, and she had a friend doing it down in Tays Valley that she grew up with, and she called her and she said, "You can come apprentice with me."
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so we moved down there in 2003, and I apprenticed for a couple years, and I got my license down there. And yeah, the rest is history. And moved back here when it got a little slow up there, and she wanted to move back by family and things.
Now, what do you do about appraising the attics and crawl spaces and stuff like that?
Use my camera and go like this a lot.
Okay.
And like this. So I don't get down in them very often. I use my camera to see those things. Yeah. So
some of you probably would want to do that too anyway.
Yeah, that's very true, because I do a lot of repo properties, and they're pretty nasty. So
you got a selfie stick that you stick up in there?
That's a great idea. There's one on my table right now. So.
Yeah.
There's one on my table. So, but yeah, that's how I got into it, and it does affect my day-to-day report. Just the cognitive side of it. But I'm still mobile, and if I'm at heights and stuff like that on stairs, I get a little shaky. And
you get tired easier too, don't you?
I'm done about 4 or 5 o'clock. I start getting exhausted, and then I can't think straight most of the time. I just want to be done with my day. And so, that's my wife. I'll go sit in my chair in our one room, and just kind of gets me away and relaxes me a little bit.
Now, how long have you done this now?
2003.
And how come you haven't gotten into Ohio until now?
I was in Tays Valley forever.
Oh, okay,
for a while, but I've been back here since 2009. I still haven't gotten it yet.
Right.
But yeah, the motivation is not there completely there yet, but it's pretty soon. I'm going to need to do it.
Gotcha.
So, yep. There you go, Misty. You're up.
A little black dress.
Yes, little black dress. Let's see. I lived in Wilmington, North Carolina, and I worked at a $16 million country club, and I was just a bartender and a surfer, and just hanging at the beach. And
how did you end up there in the first place?
I just had friends that lived there.
I love Wilmington.
So kind of a gypsy.
That's where we go.
So you left Parkersburg and went there?
Oh no, that was like several moves later.
So start back before that then.
I moved to Huntington. I lived in Houston. I guess then I'm back to Huntington, and then to Wilmington.
Oh wow!
Then to Charlotte, then back here.
So, and when you moved to Huntington, and that was the first job was the country club
in Wilmington.
I meant to Wilmington.
That's fine. In Wilmington, yeah, and I never knew that there were such jobs as event planners and event stylists and designers, and they were putting on $250,000 weddings at this country club, and I just walked in and I just thought, I can't believe they pay someone to do this. And I talked to my general manager, actually walked in at the time when I was looking around deer in the headlights, this is so amazing. And that's when I said, I want to do this job. And he said, we're looking for someone, but obviously we want someone with experience. And I had zero experience, obviously. And so I took an online class, and I went in with a suit and was just this is what I want to do. And he basically kept telling me no. And then I finally ended up getting the job. And then that was when, I was 23, I guess, and I'm 40 now. So when I moved back to West Virginia, there weren't,
What year was that?
2009, I think, and 2008. So I decided I was going to start my own business. I lived here for a couple of years, just dabbled in a couple of things, but event planning was, it's my heart. It kind of, other than being a mom, it really defines me, I think.
I just came back from the Carolinas last week for work, and I can't imagine with the weather. Why in the world did you move back to West Virginia?
I missed my mom and dad.
I can understand that.
Because I work like 60, 70 hours a week. I saw them like twice a year, and I just didn't want that anymore. And I said, I'll open my own business. The people said it'll never work. And here I am 7 years later, and I think I've done a fabulous job.
I was on a DuPont that had palm trees.
Wow.
Yeah, quite a change from. But
Spring has sprung here, finally.
Big time.
which, by the way, you've done. I mean, being in the DJ side of the business,
Mm-hmm.
I've followed you for several years when I first got into it. Obviously, we talked a little bit, but
Yeah.
I mean, you do an outstanding job, and
well,
obviously,
thank you.
you have a very notable brand in Parkersburg that you work with. I mean, vendors. I mean, and working with those vendors has helped you on some of your MS events that you've.
Oh yes, I mean
you've done.
you definitely.
Yeah.
Gosh, I mean I can't even like see. I mean, there's been so many people. Premier Productions,
Right.
Chris definitely, and Mike, the Crown Events. Keith and Michelle have been so gracious to just let us use things and not have to spend the money to rent them.
Right.
I'm sure there's others, and I hate to forget, but
Yeah, and you actually had a golf scramble. It was what 3 years? You
We did
for
it
3
for
years?
5 years.
5 years.
Yeah,
Okay.
5 years. We started it. My husband and I started. It's called Kiss My MS. And the reason it's called Kiss My MS is because of my severe pain that I get in my head. And I used to look at him and say, "Kiss my MS," and he would kiss my forehead. People think it's like, it means something different, but it really is like a sweet story that goes with it. But Jason, my husband, and we came up with it, and then had a committee of some fantastic people, Tom and Chris Evans, Stacia Pierce, her husband Mark, really just going out there and just, fighting for this cause, and ended up raising, quite a bit of money, and all the money stayed in the Mid-Ohio Valley. So we were able to help a lot of people with some ramps, some in-home health care, hospital beds, just things
Get a
like
wheelchair
that.
battery or something
Yeah,
like that.
wheelchair battery for Andy, actually.
Right.
Yep. So we were able to help a lot of people through that. And so I'm not sure. I'd like to bring back the Kiss My MS brand. I don't know if it would be a golf scramble. I'd like to do like a 5K.
So much work that goes
It's a
into
lot,
it. I mean,
yeah.
people don't realize they just show up, play golf, and eat, and
Yeah.
donate and go home.
Yeah.
And there is so much planning. I mean, I was on your planning committee a couple times with it, and just
a lot.
And just the challenge of keeping your committee together is a challenge.
Yeah. They were super fantastic committee, I'm
Yeah.
telling you. And then, and I think it takes some time. Like everyone sort of gets, burnout. You're always
Yeah,
constantly
yeah.
asking for money. And so I think it'll come back again one day. Maybe not in the form of a golf scramble, though, but the brand itself will.
Yeah, it was awesome though that all the money stayed in the area though. It didn't. I mean, as much work as the National MS Association does. I mean, to keep it home like that.
Yeah,
was,
that's one reason why I think so much money was raised, because people love the idea of the money staying here. And actually, through that is actually how I met Jason, his wife Christy. Actually, through you too.
yeah.
And it was really neat to just be standing there, because I was so newly diagnosed, and as I guess you as well, Jason. And it was like, I just remember all we could do was just be like, "And do you have this? And do you have this? And do you have this?" And I just felt like so normal for like.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can feel like you're just like out floating, like on this raft in the ocean, like you're the only one. When you meet someone that has it, like all you want to do is just keep
Sounds nice,
talking.
Yeah.
So, do you still have your Charleston part of the business
I
as
do.
well?
Yeah, we
Rental?
still have the rentals in Charleston. Yep. So I don't have an actual studio any longer. Everything is warehoused. And then I have an employee down there, Robert, who works for me. And then I just send him the contracts, and he does all the deliveries. I was just never in the studio, so it didn't make like good business sense to have that overhead. But still very active in Charleston and doing tons of rentals. And
then you're also doing, I don't know if you're still doing it or not, but classes out at WVUP.
Actually not WVP. It's actually through WVU Morgantown.
Oh, okay.
They send me to like different cities. So I've been to Morgantown, Bridgeport, and Charleston, and there'll never be one in Parkersburg.
And that was teaching
Wedding planning.
Wedding planning.
Yep.
Well, I want to be one in Parkersburg.
Because then I would just be teaching my competition.
Very true. That's why people ask me to apprentice all the time, and I'm like, I'll be teaching my.
Exactly. You got to be,
Yeah.
it's okay. I mean, I do travel around the state, but like obviously the heart of my business is, here in the Mid Ohio Valley.
Right.
But I did have two wonderful gals who actually have a wonderful business, and they traveled to Morgantown to take my class, and they live here. So
So
I
it
guess
don't matter
if you
where
wanna,
you teach
I
it. Yeah.
suppose if you wanted to learn, you just travel there.
Yeah.
Now, you actually had one or two people, I don't want to call it apprentice, but sort of apprentice off of you as well, didn't they? Branch off, or one girl that moved.
Interns?
Yeah, sort of an intern.
I get interns every year. This year I probably am not taking on one, but so like Chloe.
Chloe, that's the one I was trying to remember.
Okay, so she was my assistant for about 4.5 years, and I mean, I know going into it when I get a fabulous assistant, like they're only going to be with me so long, and I understand that. I had one before her, Kelly. She lives in San Francisco now. She's doing amazing, and then Chloe, she's actually working for OU, and she has her own business in Athens. So they're doing really well, and I'm super proud of them, and they just did wonderful work for me. So I know they're going to do wonderful work for others. Super loyal, and that's hard to find.
For sure. All right, Mike. Scott here, I kind of hogged the mic here for a little bit. What do you got to ask?
Nothing.
Nothing, really? Okay. Well, I'll hog it for a little longer then. Sports. Jason,
What about them?
who's gonna take it?
The NCAA? Gonzaga, I hope so.
Yeah, I hope so too.
'Cause I hate Carolina. I'm a Duke fan, so I hate Carolina.
I just don't.
I better take
I
the
don't-
water. Oh, you got your own there.
I don't like any team that's like the Dallas Cowboys or the New York Yankees that's in
Which
the
Duke
championship
is.
all the time. And it seems like Carolina is one of those traditional powers. And so that's one of the reasons I want to see
It'd
Gonzaga
be nice
win
to
it.
see a
But
little
also,
guy.
I think it legitimizes West Virginia if Gonzaga would win it, that they lost to the team that won the championship.
Yeah. Gonzaga, I hope so.
Any money on it?
None. I don't have any to put in it, so,
I've always been for the underdog, but I mean, hey, part of me is a Carolina girl, so I'm going with Carolina.
I would never root for Carolina.
Carolina Panthers. That's the only one I would root for.
No. So, yeah, I even did the brackets this year, and then when Duke lost, I kind of forgot all about because I picked them in both of them, of course.
That was Brendan's doing track. Your son, he's doing
track at
isn't he?
Wesleyan. Yeah, he's got the flu right now, so he had to miss the meet
Oh, boy.
yesterday. Yeah, he got the type A flu or something. He's been in bed for 3 days now. And yeah, he was doing football and track and doing a applied geophysics major and a vice president of the Theta Xi fraternity down there. So he had to drop something.
He's busy. Wow.
He was up at 7 and in bed at 9, and then had to still not in bed. He was at home, and then he had to do homework. So
Wow.
he dropped football. So yeah, he's still doing track.
Yeah,
Awesome.
Brendan at South. Well, I
You
mean,
didn't pick.
What's that?
You didn't pick
Pick what?
the tournament.
No,
Well, pick. You made me pick.
I got to go Gonzaga.
Thank you.
I'm out. I'm flying solo
That's
here.
all right. Somebody's got to.
Well, it's because
Not
I'm
like
living
you're
in Carolina.
the only person
I
picking
know.
Carolina on earth. So.
I know.
I kind of like
I'm
legitimize.
usually for the underdog, but
Yeah,
part of my heart's still down there.
down there. Yeah.
I can tell you what. I'd like to have. Again, I know I keep talking about the weather, but I'd like my rear end to still be back down there.
Yeah.
I was
See, Wrightsville Beach is where we go.
Yes.
When we go, and we
Yes.
love it.
That's where we lived like 5 minutes from Wrightsville Beach.
Our
so.
news girl's down there now.
Yes, I
Ashley
knew that.
Sturm. Yeah,
Yes.
that's her. Remember TAP, the Ashley
Yep.
Sturm? She went to Wilmington. So
Yep, I miss it every day.
Yeah,
I miss
it's
the people.
beautiful.
I loved the people.
So Darlington, we went over to Darlington and got to go next to the racetrack and stuff. But man, it was an hour and a half from Myrtle Beach. I saw a text my wife. I said, "I'm an hour and a half from Myrtle Beach." She said, "You're not going to Myrtle Beach without me."
I can get her on a plane. They don't start flying until April. Well, it's April now, so.
Yep.
Well, Brendan visited Coastal Carolina for football, and that's 7 minutes from Myrtle Beach. And I said, if you're there, buddy, you're
Like
going to
in
have
Conway, right?
Yes, Conway. And if you're there, you're going to have a roommate. Really old roommate.
Lots of roommates. Maybe we could work something out. We could just go ahead and get a beach house or something or other.
Exactly.
The family.
Exactly. Once my youngest is out of high school, I think we're going to move somewhere where not so muggy and no summers, and
Yeah.
I can have me a breeze. Breeze does great for me. I mean, cools me down, and I could sit on a porch down at the beach all day.
Yeah.
Not scraping windows makes me feel better.
True.
Yeah.
But this winter, I don't know how
just
many you
alone.
had to do. We had no winter.
Yeah, not this year.
No. So it's changing.
Well, if I have to put a coat on, it's too cold. So,
Okay.
Yeah.
but back to Brendan. Brendan, I don't know if you don't follow South. You're a Buckeye, so
Like Buckeyes do.
Brendan at South was just he's amazingly fast. I mean, whenever he's always been fast at track, and I mean, in high school he did track and football as well, right? Now, he didn't wrestle, right?
No, he played basketball for 2 years.
Basketball, that's right.
Yeah.
I knew there was another sport in there, but yeah, so he stayed busy, and grades are
Doing great.
spot on too.
Yeah.
I follow Mid Ohio Valley sports, dude. I know who the Chryslips are, and yeah,
You still go to many South? You go to South games?
I used to. Yeah,
Good.
yeah.
That's right. Kelly, she graduated from South.
Yep.
Duh. Okay. But anyway, what else do we want to talk about?
I'm just here to answer
Well,
questions.
the MS walk yesterday.
That's a good one.
Yeah, we went to it yesterday.
It was, speaking of cold, there was an MS walk yesterday.
Yeah, it was a little disappointing. I mean, somebody said there's 28 people there, but it was cold and rainy for that. But I don't think we were talking about it. We're like the ugly duckling at the MS world in West Virginia. I don't think they worry too much about us. I think we need to probably change that, but it's going to take someone like me, Misty, whoever, to do it.
Just for the record, when Misty did it, it was
Well, just for the record, we all did it. So
yeah. Well, when you were the spokesperson,
Big dog.
the big dog. Yeah, that's right. When you pulled everybody together, how much do you have any idea how much you ended up making this year?
We was talking about probably not very much.
yeah, they give you a little bit of time after the walk too. So like I think it'll be like a month really before there's like final tallies.
If anybody wants to donate, go to the National MS Walk, and they're
Yeah, in
still
Parkersburg.
taking donations
Yeah.
on there for. I have a team on there. I don't know if you do or not, but
Team Mighty Misty.
Mighty Misty. But
And your team is
I don't know. Team Schwinn, I think.
yeah.
But Christy, it was kind of came out of the blue 2 days before on Thursday. Christy had read it somewhere, and she's like, "You not believe this, but the MS Walk is Saturday," and we had no idea. I mean, there was no. If somebody could take it over next year, that could just put it out, and we know radio. You
Misty.
know radio people.
Who said my name?
Misty. Misty. If somebody would it just takes a little bit of advertisement. I mean,
Yeah.
and they didn't do it. I don't think they wanted people to go to Charleston from here to do
so.
the MS Walk. Isn't that what they said?
Oh, I didn't.
Yeah. I
don't
think
know.
they don't even want to do it here. I don't think because it wasn't enough buzz and not enough people showing up.
See, I can't see that though because man, both years we had a decent turnout over there. I mean,
Well, it's like when it goes away, everybody wants it, but then when it's here, it's like you have to support it, or I mean, I know for me, like, it's difficult to, like, it's a lot of work. I mean,
Right.
as you all know, like, being involved in it, and it's like, you need people out there and supporting. It can't be the same people busting their butt every year doing
Right,
it.
exactly.
You got to have the support and the.
Right. So for those of you out there, get involved with the MS Walk when you see it advertised.
Yes.
So
And they could very well, like, not bring it back to Parkersburg. Like, next year, it could become, like, what it was. Like, the first year I took it over, it was just a community walk. And all the money still got, was sent to West Virginia and Virginia MS Societies combined into one. So all did get sent to there. But then because we did make a lot of money. I can't remember how much it was. They decided, okay, we'll bring it back to Parkersburg. So then we had another successful year. And then, when it starts gradually going down, then the odds of you getting it back on the actual calendar are slim. So.
Yeah, I think we were actually surprised on how much money we were able to, to
like,
bring in.
It was, I was so happy. I was like.
Is that the year it was in the pavilion over there?
Yeah.
Yeah, we did
It was
well
a great
that year.
year.
Yeah, we did great that year. And it could be that way every year.
Yeah,
but
exactly. It just takes a village, just because I just don't have the time or the energy to do it myself, and that's why I was calling you all like, please help. And
I really like the idea of the 5K though. I need something else during the year besides my Vegas trip to get my button gear to get into shape and run some. So
I like the idea of it too. So, and I like the idea of, maybe, like I said, bring something back that, where the money stays here. And, maybe that's I don't know, that might be the route that really has my heart. That I know, like, if someone that lives in Parkersburg or Marietta or someone needs a bed, there was no, like, more gratifying feeling than these people calling and saying, me being able to say, okay, like, I can, not I personally, but like we, like collectively as a group and as sponsors of the people, that were giving the money, we can, afford to pay, to pay for this bed. And, she had bed sores, and it was like, to just know that like something that you started and, was so successful changed someone's life like that. I'd just cry.
maybe we'll get Scott to
Emotional.
start running. You think?
I don't think so. Scott walks his dog. If you have
We'll do a 5K
if you have
walk
an
run.
MS dog walk, an MS dog walk.
That's not a bad idea either, actually.
I'll
You can
do.
bring your dogs.
Me and my
I took
boxer
my
will be
dog.
there.
My dog was at the walking mess yesterday.
Yeah.
MS Dog Walk. That's actually a pretty good
There you
idea.
go.
Well,
It's all about
do it
brainstorming.
like the local. Just have stages of your walk, because they do the kids run and walk, and then they do the regular. They do the shorter one and then the longer one. So just do a dog.
Maybe combine the Humane Society in with it too. I don't know. I don't know if split the funds or whatever, but I don't know how that would work out. But
You never know.
They have a lot of dogs that could be an extra chance. Perfect companion for you.
There you go.
We all got dogs, so
Yeah, but yesterday I was a little disappointed, but it was cold and rainy, and
Yeah.
And I've read one blurb about that big in the paper about it, and it was stuck in between one of the back pages and stuff. Nobody really knew about it, so
I didn't get an email this year.
yeah.
I'd got an email before, but didn't get one this year for some reason.
Yeah, it's just like first year when they had it down at Point Park was the best year they had. They had vendors out selling, they had MS ribbon that you could buy and things like that. That was a great year for it. That was the best one and that was the first one I went to.
I think that's the first one I went to.
It was down at Point Park, and it was great. That year was probably the best so far.
Now, Andy Walker drugged me to one time at City Park, and this was probably, I don't know, getting close to 10 years ago or at some point. And it was big then, from what I remember.
They used to be really big. I
Yeah.
don't know what happened. Because I know the first one I ever went to was at City Park, because I remember that's the first time I was diagnosed in February. It was in April, and Andy, I remember, came up to me, and, he probably doesn't remember this, but I do remember, he came up and was, talking to me about it, and, he is actually, I guess, one of the first people, I'd ever met, so, and I still know him, and he and I still, chat a little bit, and he's super knowledgeable, and I'm not sure how long he's had it. Has been diagnosed.
I don't know that.
But so I guess 6 years ago then would be when I met him and was my first walk.
Well, speaking of fundraising, little props to Craig for having a rock concert for MS
Right?
several years ago. He had very good thoughts in mind in that concert, and he was doing the right thing. Would you like to talk about your rock concert, Craig?
We can talk about the good part of it.
All right, let's talk about
Let's
the good
talk
part
about
of
the
it.
good.
Yeah.
Yeah, the good part of it was we had good intentions, first of all, and we did have many businesses in the area that reached out, gave us donations to give away for it. Long story short, let's actually skip the rock concert and go to the Outcry for Rock, where we ended up really doing as well as Rich Rule used to have his thing. If those of you aren't familiar with it, Rich Rule used to have his thing called Outcry for Rock, and every year he would have local musicians together for a whole day over at City Park, and you would we'd have 50/50s and raffles. Like he had this one custom guitar they gave away, and I don't know how much money we ended up raising, but we were able to bring the area together.
Sorry about that.
That's fine.
But we were able to bring neighborhoods around here together and raise money for the National MS Society for that. So that's really about as far as I really want to go into.
Well, that was good. You had very good intentions.
Yeah.
And you definitely had your heart in the right place. Just certain people didn't.
Too bad there was a thief running the Yellowbeards. So
Yeah.
be blunt.
Ah, remember that. That was that concert. Okay.
Yeah.
That was like a nightmare in happening.
That was a bad
in stages.
time for you because was that the same year you had all your equipment stolen?
No.
Too? Oh, it was close to that, right?
No, that was another year.
Yeah, it was close to that, but yeah.
But it was very cool of you to do that for
Oh yeah,
the
definitely.
MS Society. So that was pretty cool.
Well, two of the things that, I mean, up to that point, the two things were, Humane Society and of course MS. MS were my things. Now I'm gonna add another one to it. Now, obviously, we lost our father-in-law here just recently to leukemia, and I actually wouldn't mind putting a little focus toward that a little bit. As not to bring doom and gloom to everything, but we saw, everything from the beginning and all the way, and we lost him back in November, and it was a hard shot to the family. I mean, we all fought with him and along with him, and he had amazing courage all the way up to the very end, and it's just I don't know, it's just a different side. I don't know how else to put it. It was tough on the whole family. It's still tough. Many years ago I lost my grandma to a cancer, to pancreatic cancer, and some of the similarities of watching once you knew that you had it and that it wasn't going to end well. It just, I'm sure everybody has went through that before.
Everybody has those stories because it's just, heartbreaking.
Yep.
That'd be another good one, with MS to help raise funds for sure.
Yep.
So
I agree. So let's get out of the doom and gloom stage now. And,
Thank you.
Yeah. Where y'all going on vacation this year?
Well, Christy and I are talking about going to New Orleans because we got suckered into some 4-day, 3-night thing. But I'm happy because I've always wanted to see New Orleans, and we're talking about doing that soon and then taking another one at Myrtle towards the end of the summer.
Yeah, I just had somebody with me on my trip that goes to Louisiana every year, and the only thing she could talk about, one of the main things she talked about was the food.
Yeah.
What do they call them? Crawfish
Crawfish.
boils.
Yeah, they were big in Houston when I lived there.
Are they? Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Christy will never do that, but I'd try it. Oh, absolutely. I'd do anything. Most definitely. I like seafood, but she doesn't. So.
Yeah, see, now we're talking some happy stuff here. Let's talk about food.
Yeah.
Cajun food, man. I love dry rubs. And that's another thing in Louisiana is they're known for their dry rubs and of course the crawfish boils. But where are you going on vacation?
I just got back from vacation, so
You went to Ireland, didn't you, or something?
last year I went to
Last
Ireland.
year went to Ireland.
I just went to Mexico.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and
How was Ireland?
it was good. I was there on St. Patrick's Day, and I will tell you this: the United States celebrates more aggressively
Really?
than Dublin.
Really?
Wow, I never would have thought that.
Yes. New York has the largest. We went to the parade, obviously, in Dublin, and they said that New York actually has the largest St. Patrick's Day parade. And in Ireland, in the parade, there were probably more like marching bands and stuff from the United States than Ireland, for sure. So,
You didn't see
It's
Conor
interesting.
McGregor there, did you?
yeah.
Okay.
Where are you guys going? We told you. Where are you guys going?
Well, which time? Getting ready to go back to Vegas this
Vegas
week.
16 times.
Yeah.
Yep.
And then
Vegas twice, and then where else?
Myrtle Beach. We talked though. This might be the last year for Myrtle Beach for a little while though. It's after seeing some of these. Talk about Mexico. After seeing some of these all-inclusive deals that you can buy now
yeah.
for about this. I mean, actually a third of what you pay to go to Myrtle Beach now. I mean, it cost us $1,500 just for a condo. So.
Oh, yeah. We
and
go
that would've-
inclusive everywhere all the time. Just because it makes sense when we do the math.
Right.
and it just the,
And I don't have to get stressed out on what I eat.
beaches- Not only that, the beaches and the food and everything just puts Myrtle Beach to shame. I mean, it's like
just
it's like
different.
high school versus pro.
Yeah.
I mean,
it's more relaxing, but I mean,
Clear waters. I mean, just I went several years ago. Went to the Bahamas and just the feeling of being able to walk out there and see see the bottom of it. You go to Myrtle Beach and you can't see crap.
sharks.
Yeah, and from what I understand, I mean, it's still rumor is their waters aren't as healthy in Myrtle Beach either. They've been talking about the storm sewers or whatever going out and algae and stuff like that. But
Way to freak people out.
well,
still
that's
have vacation or something.
yes. Well,
Watch out.
However,
So I
it's
take a
great
boat
that
out
you
in the
fly.
Ohio River, so that's
Do you fly?
this is our first year flying.
Oh,
Actually,
we fly. Because
yeah.
why wouldn't you? At
Yeah.
this point, like,
Well, our thing is we have.
well, we only have one child.
That's one of the things.
That's the key.
Yeah. Well, it was that, and then you got to figure out on the other side of that. Once I get down there, I can't take a cab everywhere, so we've got to rent a car. So, one of the benefits with my job is we do travel now and then, and we get to keep all the benefits from the reward programs, the miles or even the rental cars have. So, told my wife when we get back, I'll look into the rewards that I got from last week, and hopefully we can get them for the beach for a rental car. So we'll see what happens.
So the last time my wife and I went, we actually Ubered everywhere, and that worked out really well. Ubered from the airport to the hotel, and Ubered from the hotel if we went to the outlet mall or wherever we went. And
Well, my Uber driver would have to have a 15-passenger van because we're going to have 9 people to tote around.
okay, good point.
So,
It's easier in small number.
Yeah,
but I do think we're going to be able to get a 9-passenger Toyota van though for halfway reasonable. I mean, we might be sardines in it, but by golly, we'll get to where we need to get.
yeah.
And then also to offset the cost of flying this year, we're going to do a couple meals in because it does get expensive. When we mentioned about Red Robin, I had another guy this past week complain about Red Robin. Same conversation.
I just really like it.
I do too.
I like it.
Yum.
So I just went in there, had
Yum.
had 2 cheeseburgers and fries, and it was $70-some when we got out of there. I said, "Yeah, I can know the feeling. We had the same problem." But,
So it's pricey, but I like it.
yeah, but
You get outside of McDonald's at the beach, and you're going to pay $70 for anything.
what did they just make though that you couldn't make on your grill?
Nothing.
Yeah, but I mean, Applebee's or anywhere is that same. You can make that stuff at home.
Do you like to cook? I love to cook, so.
nah, not really.
Oh, I love it, so.
I'm probably because I'm not good at it. I can throw now breakfast. I can do breakfast. What's hard about breakfast? You put, we got a nice griddle we bought for camping that runs off of propane. It's probably about this big, and you can fix all of your breakfast on there at one time. You can put all your hash browns over here, bacon and eggs, and that I can do. Anything else, I suck at it. So no, not on the cooking. We normally go out to eat, but we won't be this time.
You'll be eating at Sheets all the time here in another year.
Sheets, yeah. You know what? That's funny because we had that conversation there last night about that. We went through. Where did we go through? Oh, went through Tudor's. Ordered a Mountaineer, and got home, and of course Misty's wasn't a Mountaineer. It was something else.
It was a Buckeye, and man, was it better.
God, baby. Much better.
And I said, and I told her, I said, well, pretty soon I bet we'll be able to get it. She won't have to worry about that. So
I love Tudor's though too. So
I didn't. We ate there once since the new one opened there, and I didn't like it that well.
Tudor's,
yeah.
bacon, egg, and cheese called Mary B's the best.
Yeah, I agree.
I like Mary B's in general.
They have the best pancakes. I've only eaten there a couple times. But.
Huge. The biscuits are huge though.
Oh yeah, they're much better than.
You don't need the meal.
I think the best biscuits are Hardee's though. I love Hardee's biscuits. They're really crispy. I like that.
I think they used to be. We used to have yard sales all the time, and that was the thing. You either went and got Broadway Sandwich Shop or went to Hardee's.
Maybe not the one here, but the one in Belpre, crispy biscuits.
That could be. This one over here, no. The ultimate omelet biscuit. That was
I figured you would like Taco Bell breakfast. Don't you like Taco Bell?
I have never had Taco Bell breakfast.
Really? See, I had it once, and I thought it really sucked.
But they do. It's not bad.
Yeah, I don't like it.
Well, Subway has breakfast too, and I've never had it.
Yeah, I had it once.
Okay. Was it okay?
Yeah, it was all right. I'd rather just have a sub from there for breakfast, to be honest with you.
Yeah.
So we had some comments. Nathan Worsham says,
"Oh boy."
I'm going to read. I'm going to select.
He's the black sheep of the family. By the way.
I'm going to selectively read some of these.
Are you related to him?
Yes.
I didn't know that.
Yes.
He and I played tennis together.
So he says, "Talk tennis with Misti."
I used to try to play. No, I'm kidding. Yeah, I didn't know you were related though.
Yeah, cousins. They were basically my brothers growing up.
Oh
we were together all the time.
What a small world.
Well, tennis.
I used to play back in the day. I'm 40 now, but I want to take it up again. So Nathan, maybe he lives in Columbus, right? Mm-hmm. Next time we're in, maybe we'll get back out on the courts.
I would. You know what? I want to be there to videotape that. I want to see Nathan out there on the tennis court.
There you go.
I'm sure he's still good. He was good. I mean, in high school. Good,
maybe. Good shape. I don't know. And I know him well enough, and I can say that about him. So. No, but no, we had a lot of fun growing up together, though. We were always together. We were always Kiss, the band Kiss. We were always into putting the makeup on, and when we were growing up, oh yeah,
were you Gene Simmons?
We went all yeah.
Did you have a tongue extension?
Why are there not photographs of this out?
Oh, I'm sure there's videos or something somewhere.
Did you have like a rubber tongue extension that you put on?
You know what? If I can find some pictures, because we do have pictures, I'll get them scanned in. We'll put them up on there. I'm not too.
Please do.
Yeah, there's this one of me that on my knee with my guitar going.
That'd be the best.
Oh yeah,
we need to see that.
Yeah, and then there's also a video somewhere around with me using my mom's curling iron like a microphone, doing Motley Crue. So, oh yeah, we got some good ones.
Yeah, we need to see this.
And then we can pull some of Nathan's out. Nathan's like when I say Nathan is the black sheep of the family. He's the black sheep of the family. He was ornery. Of course, he's still ornery, but he was really ornery. And yeah, we have pictures of him dancing too. So we might just pull them all out and have a video Roberts report one night. We can just play home videos. Dave Delaney, you know Dave.
Oh my gosh, I can only imagine. If you have videos of Dave Delaney, I can only imagine.
Oh my God, Dave. I'm sure Mike Steinspring remembers this. Dave had MC Hammer pants, and of course the silver tip shoes. Off we'd go to Fred's. And
Fred's in Vienna.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Where me and Christy met.
Really?
Yes, it is.
Yeah.
Good old friends.
Off to Fred's. He would go up there and meet the Mason brothers. I can't remember Chico, and I can't remember the other one's name, but there was no white guy that could dance like him. Just to put him, he would study. Bobby Brown and Vanilla Ice, and he knew the dances. Matter of fact, it wasn't too long ago when they still had karaoke up at B-Dubs. There was this group of guys. These three guys got up there, and they were forget what song they were singing. It might have been Vanilla Ice or something or other. So Dave got up there and did the entire Ice Ice Baby dance in front of them while they were singing the karaoke song. So kind of stole his thunder, but
Is that why you had your rock concert up there? Because it was Fred's and you knew it really well.
no.
He had it because he has a yellow beard. I'm just kidding.
No, but you remember? Did you go to Fred? You went to Fred's. You just said you met Christy there.
Yeah.
I've been to Fred's.
Fred's.
Oh, yeah.
Fred's was
Long
awesome.
Island iced teas.
Oh yeah, yeah. You know what? And that's we talked about this a few weeks ago with Alec and Mike. There is no place like Fred's anymore. Besides,
There's no huge dance. Well, I don't know if Nip and Q is still.
Nip and Q's gone.
JP's
Okay, because that was
to be.
so.
JP Henry's.
JP's, yeah, probably still have. I would.
They don't have
a
dancing
huge
anymore.
They
dance, and they don't have a
special
huge dance
occasions.
floor.
Oh, it used to be them
every
and Fred's
weekend,
was
yeah.
every weekend.
Nip and Q in the old bread building was the
'Cause
last
that's where I met my Jason.
Right,
huge
right,
dance
right.
floor we had. So if it's gone,
Yeah, it's
they're
gone.
all gone now.
Yeah, the
But yeah, when we were just out of high school, that's all there was, man. So Michael's was that way, JP Henry's was that way, Remedy's was that way, Fred's was that way, and then the locker, you go to Marietta, the locker room was that way. I mean, they were all. And gosh, I came from Athens, so the greenery, the Nickelodeon. And Athens is that way now
I
too.
can't believe
There's no dance clubs in Athens anymore either. The
Really?
kids don't dance anymore.
and I sort of disagree with that though. I mean, I do a lot of
Like high school stuff.
yeah, I do a lot of Sweet 16.
I
parties.
shouldn't say that. When kids go out to drink, they don't dance anymore. Let's put it that way.
I don't know. I mean, Alec and the rest of the crew over there it's not Blue Parrot. I call it Blue Parrot whenever they was in here. The place that's next
Pit.
to
Blue
Pit. Yeah. I mean, they've had a couple decent dances over there. I'm
not saying people wouldn't. I'm just saying that's not the trend in nightclubs anymore. Is
Yeah,
you see small dance floors where an MP3 player's going, and occasionally you'll see people dance. That's because my son just graduated from OU, and the times that I went down there, that's what you saw. You saw a dance floor about the size of this table, and you get about 20 people up on it at a time, but the majority of the bar was doing something else. Whereas when we were in high school or just out of high school, everybody danced.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. Like I'm thinking, what are they doing?
I haven't even paid attention, so I don't know.
Now, do you think possibly it could be that they pay a little more attention to underage drinking now? That
I think it's just so much that people don't listen to all this. When we were our age, everybody got their music off of the radio. We all listened to the same thing. You know,
that's true.
We were all,
That's
if
true.
you said Debbie Gibson, MC Hammer, New Kids on the Block, everybody knew who that was, and everybody listened to that same music. Either that or like country. But I mean, if within those couple of genres. my kids now get everything off of an MP3 player, and I don't know
Dance at
any
home.
two kids that basically listen to the same music.
We would sit Sunday night, or I would wait for the top 40, wait for your favorite song to come on,
Exactly.
and have your cassette player, and then you press
Oh, yeah.
play and record.
and listen to it 16
Yeah.
times.
My sister and I were just talking about this the other night. We had this little pink like jam box, and we would like fly across the room. And there used to be this I can't remember the radio station, but like nighttime they played like it was called Pillow Talk.
I remember that.
And we knew like our songs were going to be on Pillow Talk, and we didn't care like if the DJ was talking, like he hit record. Like my parents were not about buying us cassettes. Like no.
Yeah. Wasn't it 99?
Yeah, I think so. I think it's Magic 99.
Magic
Oh, I
99.
thought you meant in
Yeah.
like I promise
no,
it
no,
wasn't
no.
19.
Magic
99. Yep.
Yeah, times are changing for sure.
Well, the clubs in Vegas stay full all the time, but I guess it's Vegas.
Well, if
though.
you get 30,000 people in there, you're going to be able to find 100 people who will dance. Sure. Yeah.
I tell you what, that club, I haven't been in it, but seen pictures. I'm trying to get my wife to go in it, but Hackison is an impressive club down there. That's the one I was talking about that has Dead Mouse and all the other big names that you would know that I don't know.
So here's what I remember. So the last time I was in Vegas was 07. Does the MGM still have the bar made out of ice? Did you ever see that bar? The entire bar is like made out of ice.
No, but
So
there
it's like
are
hockey
several
temperatures in there.
There are several bars throughout the town though that have and I can't grasp this. You go in there and you freeze your butt off. I mean, they give you these big fur coats to go in there and drink in the freezer.
Yeah. So that's what this was.
But yeah,
so the
that's-
actual table was made out of ice and the bar was made out of ice. And
Yeah, a lot of people do it and they love it, but can you imagine? I mean,
Well, if you're drunk enough, you're not going to get too cold,
right?
right?
Yeah, well, yeah, I guess. But when your drinks are 30 bucks a piece, you're not going to
yeah, no
sit
kidding.
there for too long.
Go to a pro baseball game, and you're going to see $10 for a beer. I don't never drink at games. It's so expensive.
I agree with you.
Yeah, out there they have the entertainment tax too. You pay if they have anything going on, you pay a sales tax and you pay an entertainment tax. So, speaking of, that's another thing that L.A. Raiders, or it's not L.A. Raiders now. It's a done deal now, I believe, right?
It
Yes,
is a
only
deal.
one manager voted no, so it was 31-1, and it was the Miami Dolphins manager or owner for some reason voted no. I don't know why.
They won't be there
Who
for
would care?
like 3 years, though. They said they're going to
Right,
be playing
right.
other places for next 2 years.
And
till
the,
they get
and the
stadium
problem
built.
is that Oakland doesn't want them there next year.
Yeah.
So they already said that. So I don't
Yeah.
know.
But they may have to play there, and they may have to let them play there, from what I hear. So
Las Vegas Raiders.
And the other thing was, so the Chargers moved to L.A. My understanding is the Chargers have already sold their allotment of season tickets for next year that the L.A. fans are that excited about.
well, that's going to be 2 L.A. Rams and
Yeah, exactly.
Chargers now.
But I
That's
guess,
a little too
I
much.
guess they've had no problem at all, though, selling the
crazy.
tickets for the Chargers games.
From what I understand, the Vegas people, communities, they don't embrace these things as well as.
I was wondering about that. I mean, I know NASCAR attendance is down, but what is the Vegas race like? And, does it have good attendance or does it not? I guess that's not really considered Vegas from what I understand.
It's
but,
way out there.
Yeah.
Yeah, but they don't embrace. I mean, they just added a hockey team. I think it's going to be an NHL team. But, I mean, they had some issues. They had to throw in some, perks to sell out all their seasonal hockey tickets. So, but, I don't know. We'll see what the Raiders do. There's a lot of diehard Raiders fans out there that could give a crap. They'll just won't be taking the ones from L.A. probably. I figure there'll be a lot of those.
Well, the
people
thing
that
is that's still within driving distance. Well, not from Oakland though. Yeah, I guess you're talking L.A. the L.A. people, but not the Oakland fans they're going to lose them for sure.
yeah. Actually, NASCAR. You lived in North Carolina. Did you ever go to any of the races down there? Were you into NASCAR?
I was not into it. However, I did get to go to a NASCAR race in Charlotte, but we got to sit in I had 2 different experiences. I got to sit one time in the box like the suites. So obviously that was pretty amazing. And then I went with a friend to, was it in North Carolina? Well, they have it there twice a year. I can't remember. It's this little tiny town. But we camped like in someone's like yard, and like you pay like to do that, and then you like shower like in their basement with like, it's very dormitory like. So I had two different experiences, but I was never like into NASCAR or anything. I just went for the experience because.
See, it amazed me was with the Darlington. You know, as popular of a track that was. I mean, that town just there's just not the track. I mean, well, I guess back in the days.
Oh yeah, but you want to talk
built-
about nothing. Now on the way to Myrtle Beach, you always go through Rockingham. There's nothing in Rockingham.
That's true.
It's like two stoplights. Yeah.
And you know, like we talked with back in the day, everybody built their cars in barns or, you know, in these little pole barns and shops and stuff that they don't do anymore. And, you know, that's so it makes sort of a lot of sense because I'm sure that, you know, an old track like Darlington or Martinsville or Rockingham, you know, they were all grassroots people. So
Well, speaking of NASCAR and MS to intertwine them, there's a driver that has MS, so I root for him every week now. I'm really into Trevor Bayne has MS, and it's kind of got
I
me.
didn't know that.
Yeah, he is
Didn't either.
he's dormant right now, but yeah, he has MS. So I've gotten to.
Oh well, maybe I'll get into it now.
Yeah, every race, man, every race I watch him and I root for him big time because I was watching when I left, and yeah, he was in like ninth, and I'm like, there you go. So he gave me someone to really root for.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, he's number 6, so keep an eye out for him. So,
Was he like just recently diagnosed, or is he
a
new
few
on the
years?
scene,
No, it's 3 or 4 years ago, and his doctors gave him the okay to race, so he's good right now
But he's been a driver for
for a while.
A while.
Yeah, so he's Tennessee, I think. So yeah.
It's always interesting when like someone that's, you know, an athlete or a musician or an entertainer of any kind, like, you know, comes, you know, says, you know, that they have MS. I think it really starts to bring, you know, like, you know, there's a few like that recently just came out that they had MS. I can't think of their names, but
entertainers.
Yeah.
Who are the most famous people that you can name off the top of your head that have him?
Was it Jamie Lynn Sigler?
yes, she's one, and
Okay.
she hit it for a long time because she was afraid she wouldn't get any
Work.
yeah, any work. That's sad, but it's true. Like, I mean, if she has any cognitive stuff, I mean, definitely for sure. Like, can you imagine like reading a script? Like, I would be like, I couldn't do it now.
Yeah, it's people in the past like Annette Funicello. You know who that is? Yeah, she had MS.
Clay Walker, he's a country singer. He
Yep.
has it.
Osborne.
Osborne, yeah,
Ozzy?
Jack Osborne,
his
his
son.
son.
I was going to say
yeah.
Ozzy has worse troubles than MS.
Yeah, it's kind of just neat to, and that gives me someone to root for, which is
So
kind of
Jack
cool.
does. I didn't know that.
Yeah, he does because his mom went on that show she's on.
Yeah, she talks about it.
and she cries every time she talks about it, acting like he's got a death sentence, but drives me crazy
Yeah,
because it's not a death sentence. When you hear it, nobody knows really what it is, so they think it's like everybody sees wheelchair,
Right.
rest of your life in a bed, and it's not that way.
right, exactly.
So
Do you all look a little
Craig's
more
baby is
my
calling
dog's-
for him.
time to wrap it up.
I got a barrier up out there, so that's all right. We can get out the front though, or you all can get out the front there. But anyway, the whole handicap side of it. I mean, do you all look more towards some of the businesses that aren't handicap accessible or anything like that? I mean, what?
No, it doesn't even come into my thought
It doesn't
process
mine
for
either
us.
at this point. Mm-mm.
So it's not really something I want.
I mean, you don't want to think about, obviously, but I mean, I didn't know if, they're-
it's not to that, if I start feeling like I'm not moving around very well, I might think about it. But at this point, it's not even in my, thought process. So
Yeah, I agree.
yeah, I kind of feel sometimes that people sort of use that. They will And we actually had, I won't mention any names, but took a point to go around businesses and point out to them, you don't have a ramp, and try to sue them and all this. And which, let's make it clear though, I mean, I do believe that businesses do need to be accessible on, for handicapped people for sure. I mean, they should be able to get where anybody else can get. But going out looking for a fight, though, is a different story, though, I think, in my opinion. But so
There could be some people I know some people who take advantage of, they want to say I can't do this or I can't do that, and I don't know. Sometimes I wonder, if they're taking advantage of a situation, they're diagnosed and they're obviously okay, well now, I don't have to do this or whatever. And I guess I'm speaking of one person, and obviously I'm not going to mention any names.
milk it, so to speak.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. Somebody posted a picture earlier from Lynn Street.
I saw that. The guy out on the street, is that what you're talking about?
Yeah.
Yes.
What
I
now?
saw that.
Some dude sitting on a little
stoop.
concrete step or stoop
Yeah.
or something or other with, he was wrapping his arm up, getting ready to shoot up.
No way.
Yeah.
Right out in the middle.
Right
It
out
was
in
like
daylight.
It was this morning. It was
Yeah.
early this morning. It wasn't.
I got to check MOV what's happening. That's my go-to for meth.
And the dude was just sitting
and
there.
heroin.
I mean, she took his picture. It's like he was posing for it.
Are you guys on the MOV what's happening?
Oh, I am.
I am
Facebook?
not.
Oh, you got to check that out, dude.
I got enough
the place
craziness
to
in my
go.
house. I don't need
It's
to worry
taken
about
me
the rest
to
of the
to a
MOV.
special place.
It's
I'll
the
tell
place
you.
to go for.
It gives me. I don't even know why I'm on it. It gives me such anxiety.
I don't know. I
don't even
kind
know
of
why I
like
pay
it.
attention to
I kind of like it
I've
because
never been on it.
everybody who listens to the scanner immediately posts everything that they hear on there. So
No, I do have a
think that's kinda
scanner,
cool.
but I don't get on MOV what's happening.
And don't trust me. Don't
Okay.
it has ruined everything.
Okay, here's a
that
great
I've
example of
thought
what gets
about
posted. This is
Parkersburg.
just random. I'm just going to read you a random
Can't wait to
posting.
hear this.
I went to Speedway on Murdoch Avenue to get a pack of cigarettes, and the workers were telling everyone buying them that they are going up $1.20 a pack in the morning. Not sure if it's true, letting everyone in the MOV know. I say it's time to quit. That's just a taste of MOV. What's
That's
happening.
awesome.
And then there's some that there was someone that was dressed up as something a few
didn't see that
a
one.
few months ago.
Here's-
And it was,
here's-
on Murdoch. I live not too far.
Here's what you normally hear, though. So this is the normal posting. What is happening on 23rd Street by the park? There are a lot of first responders. So you get a
that's
lot of that.
what
But the
you
cool
get.
thing is then you get
Then you get
the
obsessed
cool
with
thing is that
reading
you
the
get 90 people that answer
Everybody
that
will answer.
question.
All right.
I'm surprised
That's
Missy
pretty
doesn't
cool.
post in there. She listens to the scanner all the time.
Wow.
Well,
We all live
no. Actually, bring up the meth thing. I did message Sheriff Stevens, and he's going. I'm supposed to I gave him a couple dates if he can make it. It's the 2 Saturday or Sundays that you are here in April. That's going to be a good one. I'm really looking.
Oh, he's
forward
coming to
that.
talk about.
Yeah.
Oh wow. Yeah.
Yeah, I'd like to get him, and actually, I'd like to get a first responder that would be willing to talk. But you know what? It is such a touchy subject these days. I mean, the first responders don't want to, one, they don't want to talk about it, and two, they don't want to be on any kind of video or anything talking about it. So, I don't know. Sheriff Stevens, though, I think that that it's been a hot topic here with Robert's Report now since we started. Just about every single week we talk something or other about it. And, anything that anybody can do to help it, more power to them. And it maybe it'd be a good week to try to get the MOV people to come in. So as soon as we nail down that date, we'll try to get a hold of them, and we'll put it out there to Facebook world and let everybody know. So,
There's a lot of people on that site.
yeah. Yeah.
Oh yeah, it was like 11,000 or something the last time I looked. It's probably
Never been
more
on
than
it.
that.
Not
No.
one time.
Yeah, there's probably
No.
11,000 people on it or more now.
It's addicting.
We do have some more Facebook comments. Jan Schweneman says, "Love my son."
That's so
Thanks, Mom.
sweet.
That is really nice. I hope I don't know how to pronounce this last name. Kathy Zaliga.
That's my buddy from college.
Is that she says? Jason is a great person. Thanks for the memories at Glenville State.
What's up, Zoogie?
Did I say the name right?
Zalega.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Close enough. And so did you go when? What was it? Channing Tatum? Was he the one that went
No,
there?
he's probably I'm a little older than Channing Tatum. The second best looking guy that ever went to Glenville was Channing Tatum.
Oh, so Mike Shepard was.
Yeah, whatever. Yeah, no, he's probably a little younger than me. So
Gotcha.
Yeah, I was 94 grad.
What else do we have here? Janet Whited says, "Watching, proud of you guys."
Thanks, Janet.
And that's pretty much all the comments that we can read,
many.
except for
I know.
more by Nathan that
Yeah.
little controversial.
Hey, I do want to give a plug to Mike Shepard, actually, if we're talking about the same Mike Shepard.
I was.
Was you? Okay, good.
He went to Glenville. I think he played ball with Channing Tatum at the same time.
Oh, did he really?
He only went like a half a year. Channing Tatum did or something.
Yeah.
No, he left, I guess.
He went to Magic Mike.
Straight to Magic Mike from New Zealand.
Hey, I'd quit Glenville if I had that kind of career.
For real.
No, but
If I was a real Magic Mike, I'd quit Glenville for.
yeah. Saturday, April 22nd, actually, Mike Shepard's going to have another big match over at the Parkersburg Fieldhouse. It's going to be Wolf versus McNeamer 2. A battle
My
of
buddy
the
Joe
ages.
Painiff will be boxing in that.
Joe Paintiff, that's right. He is fighting Brian the Golden Greek. Can't pronounce his last name. Kamichis?
Close enough.
Yeah. So I always try to support Mike, or actually anybody that does anything new in the area that gives alternative to people. And one good thing about having these fights at the field house they are a family atmosphere, which is cool. Everybody, you can take your kids. They got food. They got drinks. They got VIP tables, which Roberts Entertainment always gets one, and it's a good time. Good to see people get beat around and smacked around and
Good times.
knocked out. Yeah, it's real cool. Actually, Matt Greathouse with Horizon Productions, he does the lights and sound for that every time, and uses my scaffolding
Gotcha.
or my truss. I'm not scaffolding. I don't have scaffolding. Truss.
I thought, wow.
Scaffolding. Yeah, I got scaffolding now. I'm going hardcore. No, but my trust system though. But anyway, Mike does a great job on promoting these. There's one dude that Raymond Davila is a hard ass. Definitely, he's. I could see him one day being one of the ones that would, if there was anybody that I'd ever see getting into UFC, it would be him. He's.
Was he at those cage match, or not the cage matches, but there? Remember that field house when I was at that one time? Was he one of them?
Yes, I believe
I think
so.
I remember him. Yeah.
Yeah,
Those were
he's-
nice to go to. I mean,
Yeah, he was actually the last fight we went to a couple weeks ago. His opponent didn't show up, so I don't know if they chickened out or what. But I'd probably chicken out. He's good.
Yeah.
he's real good. So, that's a good plug. So there we go. What else we want to talk about? Walking Dead. You want to talk about Walking Dead? Anybody else Walking Dead people? I'm not.
Yes, I am, but I
Walking
just,
Dead?
I just
that's
wish
bad.
they would get to beating the Savior's asses and quit
be no more
pussyfooting
show.
around about it. Yeah, yeah. We could talk technology. Are you guys iPhone or Android?
I just got an
people?
iPhone last Saturday. So, yeah, I have a Samsung guy forever. And then
And you?
I have an iPhone, but
Okay.
I'm the least tech person here.
So Samsung announced the Galaxy S8 this week. There are two form factors, 5.8 inches and 6.2 inches, which sounds huge, but they changed the aspect ratio, so they're actually thinner, even though they're longer.
It's Infinity, right?
Yeah.
You said Infinity screen. Where
Yeah, now that has to do with
doesn't
they're all like the Edge, basically.
I had the Edge,
And,
yeah.
but there's basically no bezel at all. What they did was they took the physical buttons off of them and made them all screen, and the
Yeah.
screen goes edge to edge over the entire thing. So basically, Infinity, meaning there's no bezel around the
That'd be kind of cool.
around the phone at all anymore.
I kind of wish they'd stop getting too thin. You know, I like them being small to fit in your pocket, but the phones, you got to be able to grab it in your hand, and I mean,
Yeah, I
that's
haven't found that they're too thin. I mean, because they like to put bigger batteries in them, so I haven't found that they're, at least for me, I don't feel like they're too thin. You do have some of them that have weird shapes to them. They might have a hump to them on the bottom or something like that. No, iPhones have always been flat, from what I can remember. I
they've
know.
gotten flatter. It seems. I mean,
Yeah.
the 6. I have the 6 Plus, and
You get a lot of people who ruin them though by putting a freaking life proof or.
Well, if
let's
you
see.
have a kid, you understand they need
Yeah.
life proof.
Yeah.
Sarah,
See, I put the.
she's my screen breaker.
Yeah,
in
I
my
put the
phone,
bullet-
right?
I have
put-
a 4-year-old. The same thing.
I
It's
put
my phone.
the ballistic glass or whatever it's called on mine to
Yeah.
protect the screen, but that's it. I don't like a case
Yeah.
otherwise because I like it to be nice and thin
Yeah.
when I
Worst.
use it.
I don't have a case on mine.
So they're
At all.
saying the next iPhone, this iPhone, by the way, it's not going to be iPhone 8. They're saying it's probably going to be iPhone 10 because it's the 10th anniversary. They think they're going to go straight to 10, but this next one they say may cost around $1,000. So they're getting to where
Well, it was $850 for that iPhone
Yeah.
7.
they're getting to where
Crazy.
so they're going to cater to the network next plans or whatever.
yeah, that's what it is. They want you to pay the $30 a month, and for $1,000, we're talking $50 a month. So
Yeah.
that's-
Yeah, I was just talking to my mom today. I said, you know what? I'm going to do what you did. I'm going to get down there and drop a lot of money and just get it taken off because
I bought mine. So my wife's I bought outright. But she's still on an iPhone 6 because of that. Because I bought that thing outright, and that they have to. So she's been on one for 2 years now, or over 2 years.
It makes a
we
big
bought them
difference in your
outright.
payment, though.
But the other thing that I do too is that's why I went to buying Google phones. I bought a Nexus, and because it's in the $400 range to buy a brand new phone, as opposed to the $800 range to buy a new phone. So that's one of the reasons why I haven't went with a Samsung or an iPhone for myself.
Yeah, I'm still stuck on Apple. I don't.
Now, one of the good things is, so it looks like so Apple released a new iPad last week or 2 weeks ago, and they actually lowered the price to, I think it's $329 for the big iPad, not the iPad mini.
Mm-hmm.
And so people are saying that we've reached saturation point where everybody who wants a tablet now has a tablet, and that's the reason that Apple has now lowered the prices.
Makes sense.
So they're probably trying to work on some.
Maybe
what they
something
call it,
new.
residual, some kind of residual income
Yeah.
down the road that they can.
But so it looks like
Subscription.
they're only going to get people to buy iPads now when they need to replace them.
I think it's going to be TV. They've always wanted to get into the TV market. I think
That's what everybody says, and that's what Steve Jobs wanted. It has to do with whether or not that's what Tim Cook and the new group of people who run the company want or not. But yeah,
Well, Microsoft talked about it, many years ago because they had the cool coffee table and everything, and they talked about trying to get into the TV. I mean, whatever happened with that? Nothing.
nothing really. It's fighting the cable companies is what it's come down to. Is you got to make if you want to get into the business, if you're Apple or Microsoft or Google, and you want to get in the business, and by the way, Google just got into this with YouTube, and they've got a set of 30-some channels to start off with, but you got to go out and hit the bricks, make the deals. You got to make the deals with ABC, with Disney, with ESPN, with Viacom, with all those individual network, NBC, CBS, Fox, and you got to make all these individual deals to bring a package to people, and it takes time.
If there was some investors out there, would be smart. They would start their own networks that would cater to that.
I just want a la carte. I don't even care. I don't even mind if the cable company stays around. I just want to buy a package that, okay, all
What
I
you
watch
want.
is ABC, NBC,
Yeah.
Fox,
Yeah.
CNN, MSNBC, ESPN, HBO. I just want to pick out the exact stuff that I watch and pay for that.
I agree.
And if it still costs $100 a month after I do that, fine. But
Right.
at least I want to not be paying for 500 shopping networks that I don't watch.
We have so many we don't even
Yeah,
touch. We don't watch.
I know, it's
So-
crazy.
but there's a reason.
You
they're on
have
there.
100 channels on your cable system and you watch 5.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
So do either of you Amazon addicts?
I have started a little bit recently, getting some stuff, just little things here and there. I just ordered screen protectors for the phones we just got and stuff. That Amazon Smile gives money to the Leukemia Association.
Oh, okay.
So if you get on order from Amazon, get on that one, and they'll donate part of it to
I
leukemia.
I do a lot of stuff on Amazon.
Yeah, Amazon Smile, what they call it. And,
I didn't realize that.
Yeah, if you go to smile.amazon.com, then they let you pick out your charity. So mine goes to Humane Society of the Ohio Valley but you have to go to smile.amazon.com every time before you place your order. And then every time you order, a portion of your money will, and if you happen to go to amazon.com, if you're signed up for Smile, they'll remind you. They'll say, hey, did you really want to go to Smile? So they'll remind you so that you can help donate to your charity.
So let me ask you this then. I mean, I buy a buttload of MP3s with my business. So do they?
Yeah, I'm not
do
certain,
that
but
too?
I think it's for all Amazon purchases, but I'm not certain whether
Because
music
man, I
is,
could donate a lot for that.
I'm not certain whether music is
leukemia
part
is
of that
one
or
of
not.
them. I don't know if multiple sclerosis is or not. I just saw leukemia and did that one. I'll do that one from when I started. So,
Christy Whiteage Schwindeman says hi, guys.
hey, babe.
Hi, Christy.
What's up, Christy? Yeah, I love shopping from Amazon, but I don't want to call myself an addict. Yeah,
I'll tell you what changes you. We already talked about this.
I
Is
know.
as soon as you pick up Prime, it changes the whole ball game because
got Prime.
free 2-day shipping on almost everything.
It's incredible.
And the cool thing is here's just a perfect example. Just right out of the blue, I drink this sparkling ice drink that and my wife brought home a certain flavor of it that I really like, and I'm like, I look it up on Amazon. It's the exact same price it is on at Kroger. Well, I order a 12-pack of it from Amazon because I don't have to go to Kroger and pick it up.
Oh, that's
I mean,
absolutely like I just can't. Don't get me started on the customer service these days, but it's easier, and I just like it to ship to my house. And
Yeah,
Well,
especially when it's the same price.
Yeah,
It's the same
absolutely.
price.
The new commercial with Reggie Biller in it, he's ran out of Coke.
Yes. Oh my gosh.
And they said
he
he'll
cannot,
have it.
By the way, he can't sing for shit. Have you heard the one where he sings Seal?
Oh, yes.
Oh my gosh.
Kiss from a Rose or something.
Yeah.
But they said he'd have it in 2 hours.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah,
don't
that's
know.
for major cities. Yeah, so what's happening? And my mom was telling me about this. She lives in Columbus, and they built 2 warehouses up there. In major cities, they're starting 2-hour delivery. And not only to do that in the really major cities, now we're talking like San Francisco, LA, New York right now, they're rolling out grocery. So they'll deliver that to you within a couple hours.
That's crazy.
it's a dream.
I
And
know,
they've
man.
got...
I need to
But
be back to
they're
Metropolitan.
building warehouses everywhere and are planning on doing same-day delivery everywhere in the entire country. That's their goal.
So
I mean, they
no-
want to put Walmart and everybody else out of business. They want all the business.
So it's not drones. They're going to have warehouses right nearby.
So drones would be future.
Yeah.
Once people are like not
shoot 'em.
freaked out by them, want to shoot them out of the air. We're talking. Right now, we're just talking about using couriers to deliver stuff within
Okay.
2 hours. That's
All
what we're
right.
talking about. But we're talking about Amazon warehouses everywhere. There's a Walmart. I mean, that's Jeff Bezos that owns the company. That's his vision.
Now, what I'd like to see is maybe the drones. If somebody tries to shoot them, that they shoot back.
Yeah, but no. To add to what I said, very funny. But to add to what I said, Walmart and those guys are planning on doing the same thing, though. They're not planning on being beat. So Walmart's
Right.
going to plan on delivering everything to your house as well. So they're trying to make sure that Amazon's trying to put them out of business. They're trying to make sure they don't get put out of business.
So would you take advantage of that? Like if let's say like our Walmart or Kroger or someone here locally just brought your groceries like
Oh,
to your
gosh,
house.
yes.
Would you take
Oh, heck
advantage of
yeah.
it?
Yeah.
Why not?
all day.
we do it every year for Christmas. I mean, I do anyway, or we do, I should say. We buy a lot from Amazon. I mean, or well, not Walmart, but online. I mean, why else would you not bring it to your front door?
Well, that Prime is great because, like Brandon was complaining about shin splints, and I got on there ordering him a compression sleeve. 2 days, it was at his place. I mean, free shipping, so it works out pretty great. And you get the video stuff. It's like Netflix almost. You get all that for $99 a year. I mean,
speaking of, Netflix, the streaming Netflix. The only reason I have it right now is because I'm not done with the Andy Griffith Show yet on my binge watching. As soon as I finish watching it, episode or season 8, then I will drop it probably because I just don't see.
I totally disagree with you. I watch all their original shows. I thought Stranger Things was fantastic. I watch House of Cards.
their original shows are pretty good.
I just started watching this show today called 13 Reasons Why. It's a Netflix original.
Is there enough there over the Prime? I mean, I don't have Prime, never had it. Are there more?
We actually have both, and I watch both because there's original series on
Yeah,
both
we do
of them.
too.
Yeah.
Does
Prime
Prime-
has its own original series, and they're very good also.
Does Prime have more new release type stuff? That's my thing.
I don't watch. I watch more original series on Netflix and Amazon both than I go watch movies. I couldn't answer the question.
You know, like right now. Yeah, well, I won't say right now, but I wanted to watch the old Cannonball Runs or Smoking a Bandit and stuff like that.
I don't know. I don't want to watch.
Just go to
I
my
don't wanna
parents'
watch the
house,
Andy-
Greg.
Okay, I don't want to watch the Andy Griffith
Solve
show.
all your problems here.
Or you're like a 80-year-old locked in a 40-year-old's body.
Dude, I don't know. I just like the old stuff. You know what? I would watch if the Carol Burnett show was on Netflix.
It sounds like what you need is like Hulu or I think one of the Hulu or Vudu, has a lot of those.
Have you got heard of my husband just bought, we have that Fire Stick where you get, like, we can watch movies that are like out like at the mall right now. So, I mean, not that we still go to the movies. We were there yesterday.
Oh, so expensive.
But my little boy, I don't normally go. But I wanted to check out the new recliners. So I went to see this kid movie. But,
How were they, by the way? How were the recliners?
it was super comfortable. Like, I was cold. Had I not been cold, I would have just fallen asleep.
So did they do every theater?
I don't know if every theater's done, but every theater will be done.
Okay, they will be.
Yes.
Okay, that's what I wanted.
Yeah, but it was super comfortable.
So,
and
and
you
does
just
it
like lounge back.
justify the $95 a person it costs to?
It doesn't, in my opinion. But I never go. I'm not really big
Gotcha.
into going to the movie theaters. But I went just because of the recliners, and I would have napped if I wasn't freezing to death. So, but we have that thing at our house, so why not watch in my bed?
Yeah.
So yeah, I watch it differently than you do. I literally watch it for the original series on both of them.
And once I get done with the Andy Griffith Show, I'll probably will branch over to him. Believe me, I hear it every night when I'm trying to finish watching Andy Griffith.
House of Cards is fantastic. Yeah, House of Cards is fantastic. If you haven't watched that yet, you need to start with that.
So, what do you think about the? Do you like scary movies? Everybody like scary movies? Nobody likes scary movies.
I like the scary movie series, the funny one.
Yeah. So I watched 5 yesterday.
Y'all seen It, the original It? Do you see where they're coming out with a remake?
Someone told me, I heard about it, but I'm not interested.
I'm not a big horror movie guy.
Me neither.
I'm good.
Creepy clowns, man. I'm into creepy clowns too.
I like while I watch that American Horror Story series. That's probably as much as I get into.
I tell you what, that's another. We need to talk about that one night. We don't have enough time tonight, but that's one thing that's on Netflix is the American Horror Stories, and we watched the Murder House. Have you seen that one? The first one?
I've seen them all.
Okay, so you've seen the Murder House. You've seen the one with the the Asylum.
Yeah, Asylum was one. Coven was one.
What the heck happened with the ones that are out now, though? I mean, they're not as good as those. I don't think.
I didn't think any of them were as good as one, and
One was the best.
I liked Asylum, which was 2. I didn't like Coven that well, and then the Lady Gaga one was okay. It was a little weird for me.
Yeah, well, they
But this last one I thought was okay. This last one that happened in Carolina,
I
with
agree.
I liked
I agree.
it.
I like the style that they did
Yeah.
with it. Now, the first one though, I
thought it was the best.
I would not watch it with kids around. Actually, probably wouldn't watch any of
Well,
them with
the
kids
one with
around.
Lady Gaga was probably one
That
of the
was
most
pretty bad,
sexual
too.
one. It was very sexual.
That was pretty bad too. The first one had the dude in the rubber suit. That was
Yeah.
just kind of weird. But anyways, Stephen King, It. If you get a chance, you ought to watch the trailer for it. And there's actually one that's going around right now that showing them both with the timeline. It shows from the original one and shows the new one, and it just shows it going along with the beginning of the movie. But you're not into scary movies, so you're not going to watch it anyway.
I'm not. Count me out.
I'm a comedy guy. I like comedies.
Yeah.
Okay, I just got to ask you about something. There's a post up on your Facebook, and it doesn't even look like English to me. Is GSP just a humper? Yes or no? Your thoughts?
It's Pauly G. I don't.
Who's GSP?
GSP is
And what's a humper?
is George St. Pierre.
So this is UFC, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. George St. Pierre. He was retired for a while, and he retired as the I think middleweight champion, and he is coming back with a deal, and that's why they're asking if he's just a humper or not, because he's seems to be just jumping around to who he's got lined out who he wants to fight, and I don't know, just anyway.
cool.
UFC, John Bones Jones, free and clear. He will be probably fighting at International Fight Week in July.
Is there anything new about Mayweather and
Nope,
nothing?
not a thing.
Will there ever be?
Oh, he thinks that it'll happen.
I think it's going to happen now. I think it's going to be in September. So I have blocked out every Saturday left that I have for September. There will be a party at the Man Cave if that happens.
But it'll be like a $50 cover for everybody
Oh,
just for
yeah.
him to recover
Yeah.
the pay-per-view cost.
Recoup.
Oh my God! I felt like doing that with the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight. That was the biggest waste of money.
I don't know why anybody would pay any money for a pay-per-view. They're always over in less than a minute. And
That's not true. Not for UFC's fights. They start.
Oh, they last for hours.
Yeah. And actually, if you go to a live one, it's
But
much.
the good news is Missy makes Jaeger bombs, and that makes it.
oh,
Missy does do Jaeger bombs. Janet, you're not watching anymore, are you?
oh, you know she is.
She don't know what a Jaeger bomb is anyway.
Yeah.
Next time you see Missy, ask her what a Jaeger bomb is. Janet. That's her mom.
Oh. Okay. I didn't get it. Now I do. We've
Well-
reached the end of our 2 hours, man. I can't believe it went just like that.
Yep. Just a reminder for the watchers, viewers, whatever, we will not be here next week because I will be in Vegas and Scott's going to take a week off, I guess, unless
Yep.
you're more than welcome to.
No, you offered, but I'm fine with this.
Okay.
Taking the occasional break.
Okay, so we'll be skipping out next week. We'll be in Vegas. Maybe I'll do some live broadcasts from Vegas. Have a great evening, everybody. Thanks for everybody tuning in, and thanks to Jason and Misty for your MS show. So
Thank
Yeah,
you.
thank you so
you.
much.
Thanks for having me.
have a great
We'll
evening.
talk to you in 2 weeks, folks. Okay.
Watching